Good evening, friends. My name is Mamat Wankow, and it is the 1st of January here on my channel. And I have decided that I would like to have every Wednesday to put out a video about Dungeons & Dragons. Not necessarily Dungeons & Dragons, RPGs in general, though I do play a lot of D&D. I've done D&D type videos before, a little bit on this channel, a little bit on the 2 other channels that I did. But those other 2 channels died because it was hard for me to go and check them and come back. And it was also the people who are on this channel who barely watch my videos weren't watching those ones. And so I couldn't feel any interest. And it was hard to, build up a community, I guess would be the word I'd be looking for. So I'm starting to do this here on this channel. And we'll see how that goes. And with this first video, I did this last year, and I had a lot of fun with it as I paid attention to most of it over the course of the years. Last year I did my gaming resolutions. I came up with 5 D&D related things that I wanted to do over the course of the year. The first one, I don't remember exactly which order that I did them in, but the first one, the one I failed at, is I had a D&D comic in my head that I wanted to do, and I didn't do it at all. My comicking entered in a large period of not doing anything in 2013. Hopefully that'll get better in 2014. But yeah, so I did not get that one done, and that was a bit sad. Second thing I wanted to do is I wanted to play a female character. And I did. I got to play Ignia, Mistress of Flame, in an online campaign, and she was a lot of fun to play. I could have done some things better with her. But it was kind of an awkward campaign to start with. Hopefully the next time I get the chance to play her, it will be better. The third thing I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little dance every time I got a nat 20 to hit. I think I specified, I don't know. I did not get a lot of critical hits because I was the dungeon master for more of 2013 than I would like. And there were 1 or 2 noted times where I did do the little dance. But it wasn't a lot. Speaking of the DMing, one of my goals for 2013 was to run a game, and I did a lot, like 4 or 5 times, which I'm not sure if this was a good thing or a bad thing. I know I wanted to play D&D, but playing D&D and running D&D are 2 slightly different things, and I got much better as a DM, but I don't think I got much better as a player this year because of how much I ran things. I also wanted to do for my 5th thing is I wanted to start an online group, and I didn't actually start it. My friend Derek started it, but I got to do a lot of campaign. We did one with him and one with me, both about 4 weeks long, I think, and it was pretty good. And yeah, I'll be continuing that here in this new year. So speaking of this new year, I came up with 8 things. I have 8 things written down. Not all of them I'm going to count as my resolutions, because some of them are like vague intentions that are probably unlikely to happen. But here we go. Number 1, I want to die. Well, not me personally, but I want to have one of my characters die. I have never had a character die in D&D, and I think that makes my campaigns that I run horrible, because I can't imagine a game where the PCs die. And so I can't run combat well enough. When I run a game of D&D, I am trying to tell a story, and most stories end up with the main characters being alive. And I can't conceive of it. And so I want my characters to die. I want to have to roll a new character this year because of stupid choices that I made. Speaking of new characters, I've got 2 in the pipeline. The first one is a Klingon Dragonborn. Klingon is just how I'm wanting to define him after watching a lot of Star Trek The Next Generation, to do a very, very honorable character, and who his code is entirely unbreakable. He can't fluctuate in what he does. He never lies, though he can be cunning. And I don't have it all fleshed out in my head, but that is a character that I would want to play, and I don't have it entirely figured out. For the third resolution and a second character type that I want to make is I kind of want to run a whole campaign based on it, but I'm not entirely sure how many people would get behind it. And what it would be is it would be a Ranma style, if you guys know Ranma 1.5. which is an anime or a manga where the main character changes between a boy and girl when he gets hit by certain types of water. What I would think would be really interesting would be to run a campaign where my character is a certain class, a certain personality, maybe in a certain race, until he gets hit by, say, fire damage. And as soon as he does, he transforms into this other one. And, plays entirely differently until that person's hit with ice damage. And just be able to flip back and forth between them. I think that would be a really, really interesting mechanic. And I would love to have a DM who would use that well. And it'd be really interesting if the whole party did it. But I don't know if I'm in a group that would be able to do it right now. So hopefully I can get that done. My fourth resolution, four fingers. My fourth resolution is I want to play something other than D&D this year. I play D&D a lot, like twice a week during like the peak times, but it's all I play. I have played a little bit of Star Wars, I've played this, a little bit of that, but I have a role-playing book for something called The Laundry Files, which is a Lovecraftian James Bond type setting, which is weird but kind of cool. I would also love to do something in the Doctor Who role-playing universe. And I need to purchase myself that book so I can figure that out. So I think those would be pretty cool. Something that's not D&D, because I've played a lot of D&D. And I would like to try something new. Although 5th edition is supposed to come out this year, which, we haven't heard anything about, but I really want it to. And, yeah, that'll be great if it does. 5th item on my list is I want to run a pre-made. I know I'm going to be DMing a lot this year because in my current group that we're going to try and do something to get some of our newer players more familiar with the DM seat, but I don't really expect them to take to it. And so I know that I'm going to have to fill in that chair for some of the time. And I've never run a pre-made. I've never played D&D. I've never done a dungeon crawl. When we're looking at my D&D history, that's just not something I've done, and it changes how you play this types of stories that you've done. The stories that I've done have always been epic, save the world type stories, even when they were at like level 9, which is like horrible stories. I don't want to get into it now. But I've had these certain type of, very epic fantasies type stories, and I haven't had the D&D dungeon crawl experience that I think lets the epic stories be a lot better, because there is the chance of death where you guys are, where the people, in the epic fantasy, yeah, if they've got like super destinies or whatever, they'll be able to do it. But when a character discovers he has an epic destiny, when he thought he was just a dwarf who was going through a cave for some gold, that I think is where good storytelling comes from. I do want to continue streaming this year. I don't know how the group might be changing up. With part of that, I've got 2 brothers who will be coming available to have a lot more set schedules where I would be able to interact with them via the internets, and I might be able to do D&D type streams with them, and I think that would be really cool. There's also old members of our group who have moved away who would be really fun to have back. And finally, I've got this Star Wars parody thing that I've been tossing around in my brain for a while, but I don't think it's ever going to get done, not this year. But those are my resolutions. Those are the things I would like to get done. Those are the things I'm going to be looking for to try and do. What are you guys planning on doing? Please, write down below. Tell me what games you want to play, what games you don't want to play. Tell me, what you want to see from me about D&D. Ask me any question. I love answering questions. Other than that, I think that's it, guys. You guys stay online. I'll see you next time. Peace out.